All right. Yay! We're live. Yes. Okay. It is such like a process getting this going sometimes, but as always, I appreciate you guys being here. I have posted in advance for the month of October my YouTube channel schedule. So I'm holding true to that. It's been very good for me. So I hope it's helping you. Today is a live. I'm doing it at a new time. And I'm just trying a mid morning time. If you're not here, present, current to ask questions, the great thing is you're probably watching this back recorded, and I'm so happy that you can. And that way I can make sure I answer all these questions I get. I am pulling up my I'm gonna pull up some of my questions I have been messaged, but I have a theme for today, and it's called scan-xiety and fear around breast cancer. So that's my theme for today. So welcome to being here. My name is Marina Blackford. I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor. I'm a mom to toddlers, an ex-marathon runner, and I'm a dental hygienist. So that qualifies me to help you because I have been where you are at twice. I've been through chemo, radiation, and surgery, and I'm a dental hygienist. I'm used to telling people what to do, guys. So, and I'm a mom. So I'm teasing, but welcome. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss notifications for these lives and you catch my weekly videos that I'm sharing. So, yesterday I filmed a video about my oncology follow up. I go every 3 months since I have had breast cancer twice. What do we do at those appointments? They really just check in with me and how I am feeling. So they take vitals and then they want to know if I'm feeling anything abnormal. Headaches, pain. Hi, yay, first comment. Welcome. I'm happy you can catch me live too. I'm trying a new time and I picked mid-morning as opposed to an evening because I do have 2 mornings a week. I can typically try this. But I might try it on Monday next time because a lot of viewers are on Monday. But welcome. So back to what I was saying, what they do at my oncology follow-ups. They just kind of touch base with how I'm feeling, if there's anything abnormal, like anything, like pain, headaches, GI, um, just really anything. And I didn't have anything to report than what I already shared with you in the last live, which was a little vulnerable of me, but I don't mind because you guys are here spending your time and I want you to learn from what I'm going through. So the last live, I talked about something I have going on under this left. This is mirror image. This is my left armpit. Um, I have this very tight line here. You can almost see bumps on it that look like lymph nodes. I don't know. And this arm didn't have it. Yay, you made it to the live, Sandy. Welcome. So the last live I shared this. I didn't know what this was, but this is the amazing thing about this channel, this community, is you guys helped me and presented a word called courting that I didn't know about. It's essentially something that can happen after having breast surgeries. You can get cording, and it could be one line or many lines. If you Google the image, like I've seen somebody had like three, it looked like webbing almost. But this is what I have going on. And so we did an ultrasound, and I'm going to share the vlog and results and all the things in my next video. So stay tuned for that. But that leads into today's topic, which is scan-xiety. Am I saying that right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You have been diagnosed with breast cancer, or there's a concern like a lump or something, and you have been told to go get an ultrasound. It does. Water Girl's asking, does it feel really tight? And yeah, it it felt tighter. It's feeling better, and it was more sore, and it's feeling better. So yeah, it was more uncomfortable, but I've been trying to massage and also do a little bit more of this, which was uncomfortable at first, but they're encouraging me to stretch. So, but I'll go back to this topic, anxiety. So you've been told you need an ultrasound, a breast MRI, something in your journey, and now you weren't worried and you're worried. Do you feel me? Can I get an amen? And how do we manage that? Like, how do we get through that? That's like it's probably one of the most asked questions that I get when people message me on Instagram. And you can find me on Instagram at Marina Blackford. You can comment here on my channel, and I get back to you as soon as possible, usually a couple days. But how do we deal with the fear of getting breast cancer again? And then more specifically to how do we deal with the fear when we have, imaging coming up and we don't have results? Because to be honest with you guys, I feel like that is one of the hardest place to be, is when you're in your, what I call, in limbo, when you have had an image done and you haven't been told your results yet, or you've even had a breast cancer diagnosis. Hi, Annette, welcome. You've been given a breast cancer diagnosis and you don't know your treatment plan. So I'm talking about that in limbo time of, that is when we have to deal with our internal fears and anxiety. What do we do, guys? I wrote down some tips, and you know me, guys, I like breaking things down in numbers on my channel. And so I have 3 tips to help you with scan-xiety and just fear and anxiety in general when you're a cancer fighter and survivor. So let me look at my notes here for you. All right. So here is number 1. Let's just get into it. Okay. So tip number 1 is to deal with fear and anxiety is take action. So number 1 is you're going to take action. Okay. What is the action that needs to happen right now? So the action is I had pain in something new physical with my body, which, by the way, guys, if you Google underarm pain and swelling, there are 2 answers Google will give you. It will tell you you either have muscle strain or breast cancer. Like, we already know this. You feel me. Water girl feels me. Yeah, she was waiting to get her mammogram, and you're like, oh gosh. So what's the action needs to happen? I felt this, and I need to call. I need to make a phone call. I need to make sure I'm seeing a specialist. If you aren't already at a cancer center or have an oncologist, then you're going to make a phone call, typically to your primary care or your OB, and they can get you a referral to a breast specialist. Okay. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, you're going to your cancer center. So action. I made a phone call. I said, I need to talk to my oncologist or her nurse about something that's going on. And they messaged them and they made a plan. And that leads to step number 2. So step number 2 is to get your mind right. Back it up. Step number 1 is your action, and your action is going to lead to your plan. And once you have that, then that's like, okay, I'm releasing some of what's going on. I have a plan. Number 2 is we got to get your mind right. This is the most important and sometimes the hardest part of dealing with fear and anxiety. But we got to get your mind right. So what can help you get your mind right? Here's what I have read and practiced myself. I was just reading something on brain health yesterday, 5 tips for brain health. And I'm listening to a podcast this morning I'll share with you. But you want to get your mind right by, what I like to do is take notes and physically put in my phone or that appointment that I'm going to. Okay, when did it start? So the notes are, pain started a week ago, feels tight, and just take those notes and put them somewhere. So maybe in the notes of the appointment, maybe in the notes on your phone, maybe you're writing it down on a piece of paper. And then with that, you're also going to visualize. Okay, I know when it started. What did I do around that time? Hi, Claire, welcome. I'm gonna pause for some interaction. All right, Claire, I had a mastectomy last Wednesday. I'm doing my exercises, but across my chest and back feels tight, especially in the evening. Any tips? Yeah, they may have recommended doing some heat, not to the chest, but you mentioned your back. If you can get a heating pad and put it behind your back, I think that would really help. It's often from being so stiff. One, you were laying flat on a table for hours to have this surgery. So that itself is going to make you sore for a week after surgery. Then all the work they did to remove one or both breasts. And then now you got to sleep in the same position, like limited movement. Good luck, right? So make sure you have great pillows. practice what I call the turtle roll to get up and out by yourself. A turtle. If you have you guys had a mastectomy or a double? Does anybody know the turtle roll? This is how I get up. I can't use my arms. I use my legs. Um, and then apply some a heat pad back there. You can buy it at your local drugstore, and I should link one actually on my Amazon store. I have a link in all my description boxes to the Amazon store of things that can help you during breast cancer surgery. And I'm going to link a hot pad. I have one right here in my nightstand. I would grab it if I didn't get up. But it just plugs in, turns on. I don't know. It's electric, but you just place it where you need it, turn it on, and apply some heat there on and off. I think it could really help, any tension back there. All right. Another comment here. BRCA2 gene gives you a lot of fear and anxiety. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yes, I got an amen, I think, over here. So get number one, action to deal with fear and anxiety. What is the action you need to take? I've made a phone call. I have a plan. Number two is getting our mind right. We're going to write down some notes of what's going on, and I'm going to start to visualize what I want to happen. And hopeful is fine. Be hopeful. But I'm going to visualize. So I was visualizing this happened after a big workout and more running I've been doing. I believe I strained this. I'm visualizing that they're going to tell me this is just, this is just a result of that. I was visualizing that a lot. My sweet husband, who is so supportive and amazing, started to worry me though. He's like, oh, you better get in there, and you're going to have that. You're going to have those external things, even your own mind say, what is this? You're a cancer survivor. Is this cancer? Yeah, thank you guys for sharing your comments. It's helping people, wedge pillow, recliner. Someone's really nervous about a bilateral mastectomy. Yeah, you should be nervous. It's a big surgery, but you're going to be less nervous because you're taking these steps that we're talking about today, which is dealing with fear and anxiety. So what is your action plan? If you are nervous about surgery, I'm going to apply my tips right now for this person, for Kate Clark. Number one is you have an action plan. You have found a good breast surgeon and plastic surgeon. You have asked all your questions, okay? And maybe even gotten a second opinion if you feel like you need it. Number two, you're going to get your mind right. You're going to write down all those questions. You're going to write down all your concerns so you get them addressed. And then you're going to start to visualize your outcome. My outcome is that I will be cancer-free. My outcome is I'm no longer going to have heavy breasts weighing my back down. My outcome is that I get reconstruction. I can pick my perky boobs if I want. Visualize what you want, okay? And that's going to help your mind from dealing with all these fear, anxiety, what if, okay? So visualizing is very powerful for the mind. So that just came from an article I read yesterday on, Apple News, some article. My number three tip to deal with the fear and anxiety is to practice being present. Sandy has a question. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. I'll finish this thought. Practice being present. And to practice being present, two things that are proven to help all of us with fear and anxiety is meditation and gratefulness. I admit I'm still working on meditation often. I know it's so good. I think my way that I practice is I do a morning walk every morning, and I really just take in nature. I let my mind wander, and I just meditate on how beautiful the morning is when the sun comes up. There's different ways to be present, but that's practicing being present, right? I'm literally saying thank you for today. I woke up today. And then being grateful at the end of the day. I like doing gratefulness at the end of the day, writing down 3 things I'm grateful for every day. And I do prayers with my kids every night. And we say, everybody we're thankful for. So those are 3 tips. All right, let's get to Sandy's comment. I was wondering if you or your mama have dealt with extreme fatigue. I'm triple negative, BRCA1 positive. We're the same. We're twinsies, Sandy. I've had a double mastectomy without reconstruction. I did do reconstruction. And now on oral chemo, Lynparza. All right, Sandy. Great question. My mom is right there with you. We are BRCA1 positive, meaning we have a mutation on the breast cancer 1 gene that puts us at very high risk for breast cancer. Hence, her having a triple, you have a third boob, hence you having a double mastectomy, and being triple negative, absent of hormones, they had you do chemo, and now, or at least now have you on oral chemo. My mom is on that oral chemo. you have been through a lot. Like, was this all recent, Sandy? I mean, if it was recent, feeling extreme fatigue is totally normal. So I would recommend giving yourself grace and really lean into it. Like, sometimes we're frustrated with ourselves. We're like, why don't I have the energy to clean the house like I used to? Why don't I have the energy to go work out like I used to? Because you're not who you used to be. And it's okay because you're here and you're alive and hopefully cancer free. So just forgive yourself. Like, let all that go. I live and die by a planner that was on this desk a moment ago, of how I visualize and hope for the week to go. And it really helps me stay on task. So maybe for yourself, Sandy, you're not doing hard workouts anymore. You're going for your walk. And if you're not sure where you're going to fit it in, pay attention to when you feel the best and write it into your week planner. If you are not making a plan to do things, they likely aren't happening. It's very easy. It's very easy to let them slip by, especially when you're tired. Fatigue is one of the hardest things, guys. Fatigue leads into the topic for today, anxiety and fear. The more fatigued you are, the more likely you are to be anxious, really. So just let go of all the expectations and fill in your week of where you can do little things to help. I mean, all I can say, Sandy, is what you're feeling is normal, and talk to your doctors to make sure they know how much fatigue you're feeling, and just set up a new way of living right now, because you are on Lynparza, but you're not going to be on it forever. So while you're on Lynparza, say, it's okay that I am not doing XYZ. Maybe I'm only doing X and half of Y, while you're on Lynparza, because the goal of what that medication that you're on is to get you to not have cancer long term. And I just speak from experience because I have had cancer twice. And so if it's a year that you're on that, then just say, I can do this for a year because I don't want to get cancer again. So you got to go back to, what was it? Tip number 2, with your mind, and just visualize where you want to be. And then tip number 3, be present. What can I do today? And that's it. That's it, guys. That's all we're given is today. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. All right. Water Girl's throwing out some tips for anybody going through surgery. I love that. Lots of open front tops, easy to get on, pockets for drain. And Amazon has good ones too. Yes, Water Girl 007. I just added that to my breast surgery products on my Amazon storefront, because a lot of these products were not around when I first did surgery in 2015 or easily accessible. Now you can go on Amazon and order a robe to put your drains, and they are cute. This stuff was not as common years ago, guys, and it is, and it's so amazing. So I added that stuff to my Amazon storefront just so you guys can look and see. Order from it or not, I don't care, but I want you to know that these products are available. Thank you for sharing, Water Girl. Yes. What do I want to say? Oh, so sharing all these things, by the way, goes back to step number 1, how to deal with fear and anxiety of having surgery. Take action. I'm going to be prepared with having my pillow, having my robe for my drains ready. Now you have taken action. You have a plan. Okay. So I love it. I love it. Welcome, guys. All right. So hello. We have someone on now. Elizabeth. Hello. You have multiple myeloma. I appreciate your channel very much. Thank you. This channel, yes, my experience comes from being a breast cancer survivor. But that being said, I think my tips can apply to cancer across the board if you have done chemo, surgery, radiation, or if you're just trying to be a survivor in this world and deal with fear and anxiety. So thank you for being here. I know my tips can help you. Yes. And so, yeah, someone else threw out there, we are not the same. Her. I see you on here a lot. Hello. Saying we're not the same after mastectomy, chemo, and hysterectomy. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to mention that too. I've had hysterectomy. So I'm functioning without hormones at 38 years old. Like, bless my husband. I'm just kidding. I'm sweet. We all have our moments. We're all people, guys. So yeah, I'm going to share. I was listening to a podcast this morning, so this was helping get my mind right. How are we on time? Perfect. Right about 20 minutes. I was listening to the podcast by Jim Quick, He is really great. His last name is Kwik, and he has the Quick Brain podcast. And he has tips on, brain health and brain and productivity. I like to listen to it because I feel strongly that chemo brain has had to affect me. And Elena, thank you, welcome. And also, I have had multiple surgeries. I always try to count and I lose count. I don't know. Let's just say I've had 12 surgeries, 12 surgeries, full anesthesia in the last 7 years of my life. And if you thought chemo brain could affect you, just imagine the effects of anesthesia on the brain. If Doc Amen ever gets to witness my channel and I get to an Amen clinic, please scan my brain. I'm so curious what it looks like after chemo and anesthesia. So I listened to a podcast called Quick Brain. Already forgot. Quick Brain to help my brain. Oh, you had a hysterectomy too. You get it at 38. Yes. And so he had, the one I'm listening to today was with a guest speaker, Eric Vance. He's a science journalist. And he wrote a book called The Suggestible You, The Curious Science of Your Brain's Ability to Deceive, Transform, and Heal. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. And it was so interesting. But they were talking about the placebo effect on the brain, placebo or even hypnosis. I mean, why and how these things work. But it was fascinating to just know that they work. That's what I took away from it. So I'm gonna jump to a comment here. Christina, hello, welcome. You love my videos, thank you. You've had 14 chemo, had an operation on your left breast, you're starting radiation. Yes, radiation. My oncology team, my radiation team gave me ointments to use, and you'll want to use those religiously and use them before you start having effects of radiation. Radiation doesn't really even set in for a week or two. You just go, it's this quick appointment, and compared to chemo, if you've done it, you're like, well, you've done it. If this is easy. But after 2 weeks, you'll notice some redness, irritation, burning, and then you will notice even fatigue at the end of radiation. I mean, it's affecting your body. You're having fatigue whether you really know it or not. It just feels different than chemo fatigue, by the way. So my tips are to use the ointment. I used an aloe vera gel during the day and a thicker ointment at night. And so just religiously using that is my best tip, and to get rest and to take a daily walk. I think those all help. All right, next, someone talked about Water Girl. I got a Zoladex injection monthly, take an Astrazole daily to suppress estrogen for 5 to 8 years, and went through menopause. Yeah, like all this stuff affects it. Like menopausal, we have to deal with that. I talk about that a bit in my hysterectomy video, but I'll be talking about that more because I'm still navigating what it's like to be menopausal. All right, and we have people sharing about their breast reduction. You had a breast reduction and many infection complications. Oh no. Oh, I've been there. I've had a breast staph infection. It was awful. It took 6 months to clear it. My best advice if you get an infection is to make sure you're consulting the infectious disease doctor, probably removing anything that could be infected in the area, an implant, a port, whatever it is, and do the IV antibiotics. If they try to save your implant or a port or whatever is infected, it is very hard to do. The best way you could heal is to remove that foreign body, do IV antibiotics, and then get back on track. And someone's asking another question. What is the chance of what are the chances occurrence of cancer in another breast? Recently gone through one breast mastectomy. Well, that's a good question. I mean, that really just varies on your genetics. That varies on your environment, on what you eat. And all that being said, I mean, we don't have control or exact predictability. So I would ask your oncologist this question, and I would get a second opinion if you can. And if you trust your doctors and what they recommend, I would go with that. All right. Elena says, I really appreciate your channel. Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. You guys have helped me tremendously by giving me a purpose, seeing that I'm directly reaching people. And, it just that I'm not just sitting here talking to a camera, I'm talking to people. And that is so powerful. It's the power of YouTube. It's the power of this community. You guys have helped me so much. I can't even tell you. Thank you for giving me a purpose and helping me figure out what this is. All right. Um, what is best radiation therapy? There are multiple types. Oh, well, that's a good question. I don't know. I didn't even know there were multiple types. I just know that I um, go to a cancer center here in Arizona that I highly trust, and they just told me I needed to do 30 sessions of radiation, and I did that. And it was, that being said, there was like a boost at one point. I'd have to go back to my radiation videos. I have a radiation playlist. Please check out my playlists on my channel tabs and go to radiation. And I recommend looking at that. But I talk about doing a boost at one point where they added gel and then they do like a more localized at the end. So they kind of start a little broader, I feel like, and then it's more localized at the end. That's all I know. And I hope that helps a little. Okay, what else? Where am I? Where am I? I appreciate the love. Thank you, Water Girl 007. I like it. So that is what I had for today. Let me make sure I hit all my points on that podcast I listened to. Oh, here are the tips from the podcast from Jim Quick, the Quick Brain, and Erica Vance, a science journalist, is the placebo effect works. So I think that goes back to a little bit of the actions we talked about with, hi, Francis, from Argentina. Oh, your immune receptors, lots of fear. Oh, I'm so glad my tips can help. Thank you. But the placebo effect is real, guys. So use it to your advantage. Here's the whole point. He talks about he's like a mountain climber, this science journalist, and he said to help your mind is to manage your expectations. What? Because the mind is constantly, the reason we have fear is because the mind is constantly looking for what could happen so it can predict it and it can manage the expectations. And this is how we survive, right? So if you can help manage those expectations, and by one way to manage the expectation was to get rid of negativity. He said, exhaustion, fear, negativity, that will be your downfall. So, people that were more positive or visualize positive outcomes or expect success generally do better in life with handling anxiety and then doing well. That doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen to you, but you are expecting the best and you're pushing the way the eye can't. And Doc Amen, if you follow him on Instagram, talks about this too. He calls it the ants. It stands for something like something negative thoughts. But you learn to squash the negative thoughts, and by doing that, you can move forward better. So you literally have to practice what it's like to get rid of negative thoughts. So 3 tips for today. We talked about anxiety and fear with breast cancer, scan-xiety, how to deal with it. Number 1 is action. Make sure you're seeing a doctor, have a plan. Number 2 is get your mind right. So write down your notes, write down your questions, and start to visualize what you want to happen. And number 3 is to be present. You're going to be present by meditating and practicing gratefulness. I'm grateful for today. I'm thankful I woke up. I'm grateful for I'm healing from cancer. I'm grateful for I beat cancer. I'm grateful to be a survivor. And say those words out loud because you have earned it. You've earned it more than others that have not. You're in a special elite club. Welcome to the Survivor Club. I'm going to read some comments really quick. Then I'll probably wrap up today. We're almost at 30 minutes, which I think is perfect. So L. Elizabeth shares, you've had many surgeries. You were diagnosed last summer. You finished weekly chemo now. Congratulations. Thank you for bringing your accomplishments. You go on once a month chemo until the stem cell transplant. Okay. You still have some ways to go, but tell yourself that you are cancer-free. You are saving your life, and that you're here. You get today. And what are you going to do with today? You're going to tell somebody you love them? Or are you going to love yourself? Just, because what you're going through sounds really hard, but I'm not positive to a fault, but I just am always hopeful that we can still live a good life, guys. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I don't want you just to be a survivor that's just like floating through life. I want you to feel like you are worth it, because you are 100% worth it. You're scared of the transplant. I would be nervous too. I mean, again, how do we deal with the fear? Talk to your doctors about it. Make an action plan. Get all your fears addressed so you can manage your expectations. That's going to help with your fear. Someone shared that they found a little book on a counter at the infusion center, God's Creative Power for Healing by Charles Capps, Soul Medicine. I love it. I think the power of books and knowledge can help us all. Someone also had some faith here to help them. And hello from Ireland. You're welcome, Anne Marie. Oh, thank you so much. Charlene, you made it. Woohoo! Yes, welcome. I am about to wrap it up. So if you missed today's topic, please play this video back. It'll be on my channel in just a couple minutes to help you guys deal with anxiety and fear. Probably the number one question I get message from people. And so I hope these tips help you today. I am so thankful for you being here. I want you all to be well and look for my next video, which is I have vlogged yesterday's oncology visit. And so I will share that. And then next week, I'm just going to do a day in the life vlog. So you can see a little update with my family life and kids. And I will be coming up with a November schedule soon. Like we're mid-October. So here we are. And I just hope you all are doing well. I'm sending you lots of light and love. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys. You're welcome. Have a great day.